Chris Jones is talking about studying tape up until the time he leaves.
Come on now.
So you know through the course of that week, talking about the Raiders, it's a divisional game. And they're talking about how last year we didn't play well in these divisional games, these one-score games. There is that sense of urgency in that locker room on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
And I thought you saw today. As a matter of fact, from the defensive side of the ball for Andy Reid, he has coached, this is his 427th game.
Okay.
He's been there for 27 years in the National Football League.
Uh-huh.
This is his first regular season shutout.
That's hard to believe.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Hey.
Well done. Well done.
Not
well
easy.
Cheeseburgers for everybody.
You know, and again, you talk about the complementary parts of a football team, offense to defense. Andy Reid to Steve Spagnuolo, what these guys have accomplished together, and it speaks volumes about how they approach things, how they approach the game. And again, I go back to the word that you used, because that to me, here we are in week 7, and they're applying urgency because they understand what it was like early in this season when they felt they were backed into a corner. They lose those games. All of a sudden, they're down 3 divisional games. Everyone's handing the division to the L.A. Chargers because they've won 3 in a row. And it's all, wow, what about us? And yet all the backups were playing. They're getting experience. They get Worthy back. Boy, they look faster. They get Rice back, and they are now on another gear.
Just to coattail on Nate's point about the accurate word urgency, as opposed to what some of the fans were saying, they ought to be panicking. No. Patrick Mahomes never did. He said 3 games or so ago, hey, look, I believe in the character of these guys. We know what we're doing. All he needed were his weapons back, and there is still, because you even asked me on your other show, your news show, you know what, is he still the best quarterback? I say, when he's got his weapons, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and listen, they weren't broken early on in the season. They were just working out the kinks. And here he is, patient, in the pocket, understanding if I step up, I can buy myself a little bit of time, wide open. Travis Kelce, another guy who has a sense of urgency, right? He's on the last leg of his career, and he knows that if he wants to go out as a winner, he's going to have to step up and make plays. On the sideline, hitting his big target. And then over the middle, another guy that they have at their disposal, Marquise Hollywood Brown. And Patrick Mahomes, knowing that if I get the ball to my fast guys like Thornton, I can make plays, stretch the field in different ways, and just check them out. Listen, I am guilty of it. Those first 3 weeks that you are looking at, I was having conversations about playoff teams, about the MVP, about Super Bowl contenders, about teams that look good, teams that look cool, teams that look sexy, all without talking about the Chiefs. So, Chiefs, I'm sorry, because I was also guilty of that. And now, here is the ultimate reminder of the Chiefs saying, wait a minute, you can't talk about the postseason without us. You don't even know what the postseason looks like without us over the last handful of years. You can't talk about Super Bowl contenders without us. You can't talk about the MVP race without mentioning the best quarterback in football, Patrick Mahomes. So you're right, JB, you're spot on. They were patient. I think people like me on TV were not, because we are expecting them to be shot out of a cannon early on in the season.
Love what you said about the numbers. 7 consecutive AFC Championship games, 5-2 record by the Chiefs.
That's right.
5 consecutive Super Bowl appearances, 3-2. And MVPs, please, whose name is that?
Patrick
Mahomes.
Let's keep on the numbers. 9 different guys with catches today in the past game. The highlights that we've shown show everybody touching the football. Coach, you talked about complementary football, complementary coaches. What about complementary pieces on the offensive side of the ball? You bring Rashee Rice back. It's his first. You get him involved early. Xavier Worthy makes some plays, gets some touches in the gadget stuff. You've got both tight ends making plays. Noah Gray was down on the sideline. Travis Kelce opening it up. This becomes a really difficult team to defend when they have all their weapons back. And, Coach, you said it. The speed. You feel the speed from them. And I like the way they're running the football, too, starting to get back to pounding the football with Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. We'll see if he's all right. But they're rolling. They're rolling right now.
And I think when you go through that, I think sometimes you come out of the gate, you start winning. It's hard to fight the comfort that you can fall into, the complacency that you fall into. But you come out of the gate and everyone's questioning you, not even talking about you.
Probably a good
thing. Yet you've been there before. It's kind of all you need. So they may have to thank you, Nate. So they're going to thank you for sitting there and just questioning us.
That's true.
Not mentioning us. So they said, thank you for that little bit of motivation.
The doubt and the criticism, it could have been misplaced by people like me on TV. But let's also keep it real. Starting slow, they were part of that, too.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, when you're winning and you're popular, listen, my man Travis Kelce was hosting shows, acting. You know, Patrick Mahomes was in commercials. I'm not saying they shouldn't be doing those things. I don't know what it's like to come off of a Super Bowl, so I can't speak on that. But what I do know is there was a lot of Kansas City Chiefs players that were doing a lot of things outside of getting ready for football. When 5 years ago, it was just football. But there lies the gift and the curse of winning.
Yeah.
So I think they needed to have a little bit of time to figure out who they were and find their rhythm after a preseason where the vets didn't really play.
Yeah, well, one thing I think Kansas City has done better than anybody the last 7, 8 years is understanding winning moments in games, right? And making the plays when you need to make them. And they're opportunistic when it comes to those things. The other thing I think they understand, and it goes back to the word you used at the beginning, urgency. They understand the important moments within a season, right? There's a pacing to the season and kind of figuring out what pace you need to be at different times. I go back to when we were live at Arrowhead Stadium and then playing Baltimore, and both those teams only with 1 win at the time. And who showed up with their best performance of the season? Kansas City.
Yeah.
And they played physical. So they understand the little milestones that you have to hit throughout the year to kind of keep yourself in the race, where you want to be in that race, and then start to play your best football as you need it.
And you hear a lot of the murmurs from a lot of these teams about the people that are not applying themselves through the course of a week. Right? We heard about the people that aren't coming to players-only meetings. We're talking about that down in Miami. So there's a thing that success is preparation meeting opportunity. And no one prepares better than the Kansas City Chiefs. They cover every little detail. They had Dave Tope, one of the best special teams coaches in the National Football League. Steve Spagnuolo, one of the best defensive corners who can come up for a game plan, and he's going to take away what he perceives to be your strength and make you beat him with something else. And they got maybe one of the best creative play callers in Andy Reid. So it's preparation. You talk about what you want. It's all about preparation.
I think there was a play in this game that showed their preparation is second to none. And honestly, Nate, I think some of those acting gigs that those guys have been doing were helpful for the Kansas City Chiefs, where Patrick was out there saying, this never works, this doesn't work, we're not going to, boom, snap that and get the fourth. We're going to show that later in the show.
Yeah.
But maybe that acting gig, you know, maybe all that State Farm work that he's done has
That's the preparation that goes to the next level.
Right.
To the next level.
It's
That's
like
Jedi mind tricks from Andy.
For sure. And another thing I love about this squad is that they definitely hear what people are saying externally.
Yeah.
But they only respond internally, which means they can hear the criticism, they can hear the doubt, they understand what people are saying about their team, their players, their organization, but they don't use their mouth, they don't run their jaw. They handle everything indoors. They improve and work on what they need to work on internally, and then on Sundays, they show the results. That's what makes this team very unique.
And they in that locker room, the players take ownership over the product. And Andy is able to give them that little bit of input. They'll say, hey, coach, let's try this. Sure, why not? And I'm telling you, there's a lot to be said for letting players have involvement and input into the game plan. When they have input into the game plan, they'll take ownership over it in the locker room.
You know what, Coach, you're right. I've heard more from their veterans than I've heard from Andy Reid.
Right.
Especially over the course of the first few weeks. I heard Patrick Mahomes taking full responsibility after every single loss, saying we have to be better, I have to be better, we're going to figure it out. And all of the veterans were repeating the same. It's almost like Coach Andy Reid doesn't need to say those things.
Doesn't have to. Hey, let me use a basketball reference to make a point here. You guys will understand where I'm heading. Larry Bird, perhaps the biggest trash talker in NBA history. And when he was feeling it, folks were doubting him, you know he would tell his defender, I'm going over to the low post over here. I'm going to fake one time, and I'm going to nail this shot. Telling him beforehand, and he would do it. What's the idiosyncrasy that Patrick Mahomes shows you when you know he's in a groove and he's got his weapons out there? If he's going to the huddle, what are you seeing him do?
What he's doing. Come on. Moving his guys. Yeah, when he starts getting in his bag, you know that he's feeling himself. That's for sure. And he also, while they were struggling to find their rhythm and their pacing and their identity, he was telling everybody it's going to be all right.
He did.
You guys are hitting the panic button. We are not.
Right. And up until today, and I don't know if it's still that case, he was a leading rusher on this football team. This guy takes the ball into his own hands. In the fourth, he didn't have to do it today. But watch this guy in the second half of games. In the second half of the games, he will run with the ball more than any other quarterback in the National Football League just to extend the drive, to give him a chance to line up again. We've seen him spin and turn looking for that first down marker.
They're going to win or lose on his talent.
And he plays it one play at a time, and he wants to win every play that he's out there.
Bill, you helped to educate me before I move to the next topic. You said that Patrick Mahomes is a what?
He's a winner.
But the type of player he is versus a runner, you said he's a
scrambler. He's not a runner. He's a guy that he scrambles, always looking downfield, always trying to see what's available down there. But he also has an eye on the first down marker. Yeah. So he's on the side of his eye. He's got that peripheral vision. I'm looking down here.
First down marker, and also the line of scrimmage. How close can I get to this before I let this ball go?
So you're probably talking about peripheral vision, and that's what great quarterbacks have.
That hyper-awareness.
Yes, and you can see the whole field and have a feel for where you are in the pocket and where people are around you.
And on top of it, he's a great decision maker in those situations, right? And so it's one thing to be able to have the vision or to be able to have the ability to extend these plays and hang on to the ball, but you trust him. Like Andy trusts him implicitly in those critical situations to make the right decision, whether it is to run, whether it is to give somebody an opportunity on a ball down the field, or whatever it is. Maybe throw it away at certain times, too. He's got a great pulse on that.
Yeah. Which is why the descriptor I use for him is preternatural. Come back to you and have the conversation. AFC West Division, fellas. Broncos, Chargers are very much in this. Are we wide open now? Is it a whole different ball game?
Yes. I mean, I think it's very much wide open. And the way the Chiefs are playing right now, I don't think you can make the argument that either the Broncos or the Chargers are as complete of a football team. There's still a lot of football to be played, right? There's still a long way to go. Injuries can happen, all of those different things. If you ask me right now who was playing the best football of anybody that I've seen in the AFC West right now, I would say the Kansas City Chiefs. But there's a lot of football to be played.
Yeah, you have to respect the record of the Chargers, of course, especially within the division. Right. But there are some areas where they can improve. Defensively, they give up a lot of yards against running backs. And that's something that is going to either hurt them if they don't fix it, especially in November and December, or it's something that can be a strength if they start to figure out ways to stop the run. And then on offense, Herbert is missed a big shot. Like, they rely on these big, explosive plays down the field, and they're very good at it. But what happens when you can't hit those shots in a game? You know, what do you lean on? Listen, we have become accustomed to Patrick Mahomes being excellent with the ball. I'm talking about a human highlight reel, no-look passes, throwing from every single pivot and arm angle. But what we don't give him credit for is traditional quarterback play. He can also drop back 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drop, hit wide receivers whenever he needs to, go through his reads and progressions, drop it down to the running back, throw it away, slide if he needs to. So other teams that don't necessarily have that, what's going to sustain you when the big plays are not there game in and game out?
This division may have 3 defensive coordinators in it that we're going to be talking about for head coaching jobs at the end of the year. Jesse Minter, Vance Joseph, and Steve Spagnuolo. And these guys, these 3 guys, have their defenses playing at a very high level, which complements the offensive side of Justin Herbert, Bo Nix, and Patrick Mahomes. So these are 3 complete teams that could get on a run. But I'll tell you what, the experience factor, Kansas City's got the edge in my favor, my opinion.
To your guys' point, again, Andy Reid doesn't have to do a lot of talking. His experienced players, they can do the talking for him. By the way, I know Drew Kaliski was like, JB, are you bringing in a Larry Bird reference?
Larry Bird.
No, but they knew where I was going with it, you know.